Hey, I'm Ben. Last time I was talking about feeling unlovable, and that was kind of my topic. And this time, I think that the best segue from feeling unlovable is actually an imposter syndrome, and I'm going right into it because I always do super long intros, and I'm not going to do that this time. But yeah, imposter syndrome. Basically, feeling. I've mentioned before that I have this feeling that everything will come crashing down. Like, I feel that every good thing that happens in my life just kind of makes this little bubble grow, and it just keeps on growing, but I know that someday it will pop, but it never does. So I end up with this feeling, this constant anxiety that I will lose everything I care about. For everything, I feel like at some point I'll just, like, I don't know, I'm in university right now. I feel that at some point I'll just fail a class, and it will spiral down into everyone being disappointed in me, and like and all my friends hating me, and stuff like that. It's super irrational. And and yeah, actually it makes it very difficult to hang out with friends of mine, even my closest friends, because sometimes I've mentioned it before, but sometimes I just hang out with them, and I feel like part of my brain always thinks that they hate me, that they're friends of mine because of pity, or they're friends because they don't actually know me, right? And they do. It's just that I think that it is impossible for them to know who I am and actually like me. So I end up having this thing that I feel that everything will just disappear at any given moment. And that's what I've been struggling right now. And I guess trying to be rational about it, I guess it has to do with kind of being the quote unquote gifted kid on high school, because I've always been very lucky. I'm a visual learner. So what people don't really talk about, I feel that what people don't really talk about is that if you're like a visual learner, you already have high school mastered. You really don't have to do anything else. High school focuses on a couple of very specific skills and very traditional skills. So people with more diverse or more unorthodox skill sets actually end up, struggling more, instead of people like me. I'm the very typical, like, visual learner. I enjoy reading a lot, so I did well in high school, even though I never really studied much and stuff like that. And so everyone, people always complimented me, and everyone treated me like I was super smart or whatever. And even right now, people always treat me like that, and I hate it, I think I'm notoriously bad for taking compliments. So every time someone tells me I'm smart, I feel like I'll just disappoint them later on, because I never believed it. That's the thing, and I don't really feel like I'm any of that. And I feel that people just think of that just because of how much I overthink and how structured I am when it comes to, like, conversation. So I end up sounding like I'm, like, smarter than I actually am, or more interesting than I actually am, or funnier, or whatever. It's weird, but I feel that every good thing that people tell me, it's fake, and it's just because I misled them into thinking I'm better than I actually am. And every bad thing that people tell me is actually the real thing. So again, my head is very fine tuned to, like, negative thoughts, and I'm lucky that my friends are very nice to me, because I know that could become a problem if I had, like, one of those very mean friends, but I don't. It makes it very difficult because, when you struggle for self acceptance in the way I do, there's nothing that people can tell you. Actually, people telling you stuff makes it worse, because regardless of what they say, like, if they say a nice thing, it will just make this bubble grow, and if they say bad things, it will just confirm my emotions. I will just say, like, yeah, I am an idiot, yeah, I am this or that, and it's difficult. And coming back to the gifted kid thing, quote unquote gifted, right? I'm not that special. But also I suck at dealing with failure, and also, like, things like university hit me very hard, because right now I used to be the fucking gifted kid who didn't study shit and got good grades, and people like them, and stuff like that, and now I'm here. And even though I do prefer going to a university as to high school, there are many reasons why I just sort of enjoyed it, but it did fill me with a lot of anxiety. I do prefer university, but just that switch in which I no longer get a free pass and stuff, of course affected, this little imposter syndrome, and it just intensified what I already had, this feeling that everything will come crashing down. And right now I've done no I've done well. I've done well, but it just makes it worse. It's just like, actually, as I'm going to say something kind of, it's funny, but I actually think that the person I relate to the most, or the person that I felt put it better into words, was Bo Burnham. Uh, if you've watched the Inside, he uploaded like the Inside outtakes. And by the way, Inside is great. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's amazing. But basically, he at some point in the outtakes, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's doing like a funny dumb song. And at some point, he kind of says that he basically says what I feel, that it's hard to know whether it's better to just fail and get that hit to your self-esteem, having that bubble burst, or if it's better to never fail, but always get that constant anxiety of failure. But again, if you never fail, then that feeling will never go away. At least if you failed, and maybe another small bubble comes after that, but at least it won't be that constant growth of anxiety that just makes it impossible to move and do anything. So that's what I've been struggling right now. Imposter syndrome, feeling that I don't deserve stuff. I do plan on keep on recording these videos, because just recording the audio makes me feel a lot better, and it makes it more, like, a lot more bearable. And when I publish them, I actually get it a little bit even more like peace, finality. That's what I want. And hopefully someone watches it, and if someone watches it, I hope they kind of understand what I mean. Again, this is like off the top, and I'm that sort of overthinker that needs to like script everything they say. So it has been interesting, even though I've only made a couple of these. It has been interesting to just improvise it, because being someone that structures absolutely everything they say, like almost everything, and I'll talk about it later on. But being one of those people is very healthy for me, just to kind of do a one take and upload that, maybe add some random gameplay of a random game I play, and call it a day. So that's all I wanted to talk about for today. Imposter syndrome, being the gifted kid, quote unquote, and like this whole bubble that I talked about. It's a complicated topic, but I feel like I've said the main things that I wanted to say. So I hope you have a nice day. I sure will try to have one.